Alright guys, thought I'd make a quick little video here. We finally got the JB4. We got it installed. And I'll show you guys real quick. Now once I've done this, literally I've taken it on and off like 6 times. This literally takes like 15 minutes to install. It's extremely quick. So you got your JB4. Obviously this is temporary. I just wanted to make sure it worked right. So it's tacked down here. This is the JB4. You got your harness here, which I have tacked down here just to hold everything tight and out of the way. And you have these 2 sensors right here. So it just piggybacks these two right here. Runs this cord into this little firewall right here that goes into the OBD2. And then I have the wireless adapter right there. So that I could do it off my phone. Now, I got, let me go ahead and just turn this to sport mode. So right now it is just on the 91 octane, like base file tune. It's probably like a pound or 2 a boost different from stock. And I can already tell it's a little bit peppier. So I'm excited to show this. I just filled up the tank. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, just filled up the tank. It's not completely full, but filled it up with 93 and then 5 gallons of E85. On the website it shows, or on the internet it shows that these hold 16 gallons, the tank. It's definitely bigger than that, probably like 18, because I did 10 gallons of 93 while I already still had like 30 something miles till E. So I should have had, if I'm averaging like 13 miles a gallon, which is what I'm averaging, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so if I'm averaging 13, I should have had at least 2 gallons in there. And then I put 10 gallons of 93 and 6 gallons of E85 actually. And so that's like 16 gallons right there. And I'm still not all the way full. It's probably really close. So it's probably closer to the 18 gallon mark. But anyway, filled it up with 93 and E30. I'm gonna switch it over real quick, and I wish I could show you guys. I'll have to get a video with another device so I can show you the gauge setup and stuff with the JB4 and how you switch tunes. It is extremely easy. I'm sure you can find a YouTube video on it, but it doesn't affect any tuning or I'm sorry, it doesn't flash the ECU or leave any footprints. So all it does is basically piggyback the sensors and make them read false readings. And adds a lot of power. So we're gonna try it out. We're gonna throw it on the 93 plus octane tune first, and then I'll give that a little bit, and then I'll switch it over to the 93 plus E30 mix, which we already have technically in the tank, so we can just switch straight over to that and see if I can tell that much of a difference. And there's actually 2 maps. There's an E30 and then there's an E30 plus. So if you have like an E50 mix or something, it's basically like a max effort what it'll push through your sensors and let you run boost wise. So we're gonna give that a little trial real quick. It's in sport mode. We're gonna go ahead and take off. I'm gonna swap the tunes real quick before we get going, and we'll give it a shot. All right guys, so we already swapped it over. Literally takes like 5 seconds, not even. Open the app, double tap the cluster, and select which map you want. I'm actually gonna go ahead and throw traction control off just so it doesn't limit anything. All right. I can definitely tell a difference. And this is just the 93 tune over the stock. And it's probably, the gas is only gonna get more potent. I'm gonna kinda see if I can't mix it around here a little bit, since I put the E85 on top, so. Yeah, see, that's not too bad. Switch to the gauges here. Okay, so there's the turbo boost right at the top right there. And it is extremely hot. It's 90, like 93 degrees. Yeah, 93 degrees right now. So this thing is heat soaked as hell. I think the IETs showed that it, or the, yeah, IETs, I think they showed that they're like in the 130s, which is hot. And that was before I was like beating on it. So they're definitely probably like in the 150s right now. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know, it looks like about 12 PSI or something, but I don't even know if that's gonna read correctly. I'll probably need to look at my, like, watch the gauges on the JB4, because these may be like falsely showing numbers if it's tricking the sensors. But I mean, it has like the initial kickdown, it takes a minute, but I mean, it has some pull to it. For a stock Bronco on 35s, this is way better than stock. I mean, and honestly, like, I don't see how you'd really beat this if it's gonna gain, like, the E30 map is supposed to add close to, it was like 80 or I think it was like 70 or 80 horse and close to 100 torque. So those are very noticeable gains for something that doesn't leave a footprint. It still has a warranty. I could take this off, and whenever I sell it or trade it in or whatever, and advertise it as a stock car and own a level, like, not trying to like pull a fast one on somebody, but just the fact of nobody will ever know that this car was ever tuned. So, and technically it wasn't tuned, I guess, but it's cool that you can spend, you know, $700, $800, depending. It's like $525, and then you can get the wireless adapters for like $170, which is kind of crazy, but they know everybody will buy it. So you buy that and you can do it off your phone, which is definitely worth it. But it was like, say roughly $800. I don't think it was even, I think it was like 700 and something, but roughly $800. And you get to add, you know, say 80 horse and 80 torque, which is probably lowballing it. So that's, to me, that's definitely worth the money. You can take this off and run it on another Bronco too. Like, I could technically take this off and go on my buddy's Bronco and give it to him, and it'll run on his too. Now, you may have to pay like another licensing or something, but I actually don't know how that works. But the guy at Lethal literally told me whenever I was having problems with the JB4, and I'll get to that in a sec, but I was having problems with the JB4, and he was telling me, he's like, man, go try it on your buddy's Bronco. And I was like, you can do that? And he's like, yeah, you can do that. They don't advertise that because they don't want people, you know, doing it. Now, obviously, it only works on whatever vehicle it's on. So if I bought it and I gave it to him to use, then obviously I'm just out the money. So it's not smart to let, you know, to use it on somebody else's Bronco. Obviously, I could get it back, but I understand them not having like a limit because it only can go on one vehicle anyway. So, but anyway, yeah, I thought that's really cool. There's nothing else really you can do to add that much horsepower. Even like, you could do full bolt-ons on this thing and probably gain like 20, 30 horse, maybe. Like, maybe. You can go, you know, you could probably do, and there's probably going to be custom tunes for it, so you can probably go full bolt-on, custom tune. You would spend like $5,000 probably and be making maybe like 50 horse more than what this is making right now. So if you look at it at that perspective, I think that the JB4 is a hell of a deal, and it's extremely easy. I mean, yeah, I'm sure I could even use this on my buddy's 2.7 F-150. I mean, all it literally says is Ford and EcoBoost. So I don't see any markings that this goes to a Bronco. So it makes me wonder. Yeah, doesn't have anything with the Bronco. So anyway, so I'm gonna switch over to the 93 plus E30 tune, and then I was actually looking, they have two E30 tunes on here, so I'm assuming one's the E30 strictly, one's like the E30 to E50 mix. So I'm gonna swap it over real quick, give it the sauce on that, and then I will kind of review that tune of it, and then I'll give you guys the info on what happened on why I had to buy 3 JB4s for this Bronco. All right, so we already swapped it over. Took about 15 seconds. I could tell a big difference on the 93 tune. That was a lot more noticeable over the stock. And like I said, it is extremely hot today. So I bet you this thing is down probably 20 horse just from being heat soaked. I've been driving it all day. threw the tune on it and just trying this immediately. So this is pretty. Yeah, you can tell a difference from the maps. That's pretty impressive. Let's try manual mode. You can kind of hear the dumped exhaust as well. Oh yeah, big difference. Man, this thing's fun. It's more of a, it's not like fast. Like it's not extremely fast by any means, but for what it is so much fun, and it's plenty quick enough to where it's fun to drive. Like the torque on it, I mean, it's there. I mean, it's a fun truck. I bet you on the tune it's on right now is close to like 500 torque at the crank, which is pretty impressive. Little 2.7 twin turbo. You know, horsepower, I think they advertise 330 at the crank, so it's probably like 360, 370, 380 on this tune right now, or on this map, I guess I should say. I'm gonna swap this at a red light real quick. I'm gonna swap it to the E30 Plus tune and see if it's any different. All right, so we're at the same red light I was. Already swapped it over. Swapped it on the map 4 out of 5. So this is just strictly E30. And then the next tune up is the E30 Plus, which I'm gonna try it because I'm probably sitting at like E40-ish or something, maybe not E50, but probably E40-ish. So I'm gonna give this a little shot, see if it's any different, and then we can try that last map real quick beforehand, before I get home. Actually, I'm gonna throw it in. I didn't realize I was still in manual. Yeah, I mean, you can tell it's not a huge jump every map, and it's probably getting heat soaked every time I do this. So it's probably a little bit more of a difference than what it even feels like, but you can definitely tell. You can definitely tell it has a lot more torque than the stock map. And I like the exhaust on this thing dumped. It sounds pretty rowdy. This thing does the same thing that my wife's ST does. It just, whenever you're wide open throttle, all you hear is just straight air out of the exhaust. It's not a very deep tone. You can just tell that you're in a turbocharged car because it just sounds like it's just air coming out really fast, which obviously that's what it is. But what I meant is it doesn't have a deep rumble like a V8 or anything like that to where it sounds and you like feel it, you know. This is like it's just weird. It's a weird sound, but it honestly sounds good. Like I don't mind the sound of this thing at all. And the blow-off valve little upgrade is sweet too. Damn, I mean, that was just spinning right there the whole time. It has some balls to it now. I mean, yeah, definitely worth the money. This thing, and I'm thinking the fuel's kind of starting to get more the right mixture. But man, it sounds better because there's more boost, right? And man, on the E30 mix, even the exhaust sounds different. You get some of the crackles and pops, and I can actually smell the kind of smell like, and the turbo's getting hot or something. It kind of smells like it's still getting broken in a little bit. But 1,100 miles on her. Should have been tuned a lot sooner, but had issues with the JB4. So what happened is they sent me the JB4, and apparently it was the wrong tuning on it, wrong module. I ordered 2 of them, both of them didn't work, so I knew it wasn't my vehicle or anything like that. And they made it right. I sent them both. They refunded me for one, and they fixed one of them and sent them back. So they made it right, but it was extremely frustrating. It took like 3 weeks to tune this thing. See that? I left that in 5th gear and just let it pull, and it has, I mean, you can kind of hear it chirping the wheel, or like you can hear the exhaust cut ups because it was chirping the wheels a little bit. This thing has a lot more power to it now. Man. So, see, stuff like this. Now, I already enjoyed the Bronco, and then I did this. That was $800. It made me fall in love with it all over again. The exact same thing happened to the ST. As soon as I tuned it, I was like, oh my God, it's a completely different vehicle. Runs way better. Now, this doesn't have transmission tuning on it, so that's a little bit of a bummer. And the delay for manually shifting this thing is pretty slow, but obviously this thing is not meant to be a speedster, so I get it. It's just smooth reliability, make sure it can handle the power, not gonna mess up on you. So I completely understand the laggy, slow, soft shifting. And I think with it running still as good as it was just now, or still as good as it will, without a tune, I don't think it's smart to tune these things unless you're looking to go big power. You swap the turbos, or you do intake downpipes and then custom tune, you know. Probably a bigger fuel pump. I don't know if you have to do injectors on these or not. I don't think so. But high pressure fuel pump, and then you can probably make some good numbers. But then again, it goes back to the point, like, how fast does this thing need to be? Like, this thing, if you go and off-road it, what it's meant to do is going to be too fast. Like, not too fast, but it's going to be plenty. You're not ever going to be, like, constantly wide open throttle on this thing, because, one, the stock suspension's great, but it's not, like, it's not going to, you're not just going to be able to completely throw this thing around like you would a side-by-side. So you're going to outdrive the suspension before you run out of power, if that makes sense. But yeah, we're going to go over another complaint video. I say complaint, but the 5 things I don't like about my Bronco, one being the amazing wind noise you're hearing on the soft top. So I'll address all those things in the next video, and just kind of give everybody a good overview of what it's like. You know, I've literally been beating the hell out of this thing since it's been stock. I've been, you know, it's extremely slow. So let's do a little. Spinning 1st through 2nd gear, so that's, I mean, it definitely added some. That's cool. I'll give you guys kind of some impressions. I've been beating on it since I've had it, and I have not had a single issue, which is awesome. And it's a blast to drive. There's just a few things that I would like to be fixed, but anyway, cool. Until next time.